Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. Thanks so much for coming to watch this video. A couple of things we're going to talk about today is a correction that I have on the Bitcoin miners break-even numbers. I ran through the numbers again today for like 2 hours, found 3 mistakes, so we'll go over those. Already posted those corrections to Twitter. And then we'll also get into Cleanspark providing an SEC filing today. We'll take a look at what that actually means. And then we'll also take a look at the miners. I was looking at what is the SG&A expenses compared to miners' revenue, and then I went down the rabbit hole, going back to basically last year in January to now, as far as how the miners have done, as far as price gains and market cap gains, things like that. So we'll look at all those details there. We'll call it a day. I think that's basically it here. So as always, we are also 7 days away from the halving event, which we're getting close, which is nice to see. But as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research, invest in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And as always, corrections will be posted to Discord, YouTube, and Twitter. So I did post the correction to Twitter. We'll get into it here shortly. And also, I'm not paid by any public Bitcoin mining companies. Full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Now let's get into what's going on with the markets here today with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was down a little bit here today. Miners were kind of mixed today. We had a couple more up today, but Bitcoin finished out the day at 70,020. It was down approximately 0.87%. We're up on the day right now. We're getting close to the halving event here, which is nice. And then you can see the miners here. BitDigital was up 1.81%. Cleanspark was up 5.45%. Cleanspark seems to have kind of come down to here the Fibonacci number 0.5 here. And it seems like it's bouncing off of that where it bounced off before as well. So maybe that'll be a good sign where it maybe starts going higher. We'll see on that one. Iron was up 1.43% today as well. Marathon was up 1.27% today, and that was basically it. So we had 4 miners up at a bunch of red here. So maybe things are starting to turn around. We'll see. Okay. But here's what we have on Cleanspark here really quick. We get into that one. So Cleanspark, if you look through their SEC filings today, you would have seen one that they were basically revoking an old ATM, it looks like. But here's what they have to say. You may have noticed a couple of administrative SEC filings from us today in 2022. We filed an amendment to an S3 filing, and that amendment never became effective. So as a matter of administrative procedure, we withdrew it. And then obviously, please note that this does not impact our current ATM. So they're talking about the current ATM of 800 million. And if you have any questions, obviously, don't hesitate to reach out to the IR team at Cleanspark. Okay, so it's good that they're being a little bit proactive here and actually addressing some of the things that they put out to the SEC website as far as filings. And that way it kind of alleviates some questions, things like that. And Matt was actually really nice today as well. He responded to a couple of the questions that I had on it as far as what does it actually mean, things like that. So he made it pretty clear to everybody that that was an old ATM that they never used. And they basically withdrew it. So they only have that 800 million ATM still out there. Okay, that is it. Okay. Now, let's get into the correction here. We'll do that first on the miners break even here. So I went through this today after posting it on Twitter again. I just wanted to kind of double check my numbers. And a good thing I did, because I did found 3 mistakes here. And they were kind of goofy mistakes, but they were mistakes nonetheless. Right? So I never want to make mistakes for you guys here. But here's what we had. First mistake for Core was for their energy expense here. If we go to it, digital asset mining. So there's that one, right, which is what we're tracking, cost of mining digital assets. And then we're also subtracting the depreciation on that. And I actually had it in Q3 here instead of Q4. So the big difference there is obviously 22 million here in Q3, 35 million in Q4. So that definitely brings down their cost of digital asset mining, which then makes them more profitable, basically in a lower break-even point. Okay, so that's what that affected. So they went basically from, what were they at, in like number 4 spot, I think. Let's take a look at it here, where they were. So if we go back over here, I have this pulled up. So Core was in number 4 spot, yeah. So that actually brought their price down below 50,000 here, which they are now at 49,000 here, okay? So that's the way that worked out. So there's that one mistake. And then the other mistake that I had 3 mistakes. So the number 2 mistake was for Marathon. Marathon, I had, what was that I had on them? Also on the energy side of things here. So over here on this one, I had them up 1 cell, which was cost of revenue, energy, hosting another. And then the one below it has cost of revenues minus depreciation amortization. I should have been using that one, so I was off. Maybe I clicked this one, but when you click off, sometimes the thing changes on you. So maybe that's what happened there, but I was off on it. Okay, so that obviously brought Marathon here from, they were at, let's see here, the Marathon, they were a number, well, after Bitfarms. Now they are before Bitfarms. So that brought them down to 78,000 right now, based on their operational average hash rate and all that stuff over the last 3 months and what they're currently at with hash rate and things like that, right? So we've already talked about all that stuff here. The other mistake here was on Riot, and Riot was a goofy mistake. I don't know if I got distracted by my kids, by my wife or somebody, but for the quarterly expenses here, which are usually like the SG&A expenses, I had the energy expenses in here. So I had these flip-flopped. So when that happened, and what I had here was I was basically doing this with electricity. So in here, like I have it here, selling and general administrative, right? That's what I should have been doing. But I had the actual, let's see, where was it? I had the actual power cost here. Where was it? Mining? Where was mining? Here it is. So I had this one in here, and I was multiplying it times the 0.7 or 76% here, right? Because that's kind of the, yeah. So I had that mistake in here on that side. And then I went over here and I had the cost of, let me see here. Do I have this right still? Yeah, I'm multiplying. Okay. So yeah. So I had those two flip-flopped, and that's obviously what gave me the wrong number here for Riot. So Riot went from, let me see here. Riot was at number 3 spot here at 60. But now because of that, they actually went up to the number 6 spot here with 70,000. Okay. So again, I do apologize for the mistakes. They're going to happen. I'm only human, right? And we're dealing with, probably over 1,000 data points here and multiplications for all these guys. If you look at it on everything that I'm including here, I mean, you can see here all these numbers. So unfortunately, mistakes are going to happen from time to time. When I do catch them, I will actually provide those to you guys, get you guys updated on this. And this is the way it actually is right now. Okay. So I do apologize for the mistake. It was an honest mistake, not intentional in any way. All right. So that's it for that one. We got the correction fixed. That's all up to date. And then let's take a look at the SG&A side of things here. So on this sheet, I wanted just to really take a look at the miners as far as what are they spending compared to other miners on SG&A compared to the revenue side of things. And then I went down this whole rabbit hole. I'm like, what if we take a look at them from where they kind of bottomed out in January of 2023 to now? What was their stock price at that point? What was their market cap and all this stuff? So this has been all updated here. And I don't have a couple of miners. I don't have Core. Core was still in bankruptcy at that point. I don't have Hut 8 because they were going through the merge, and I don't have the most recent numbers for them. Then we don't have Hive and Hut 8. Hive, and there were some other ones. BitDeer wasn't public at that time yet, so that's the reason for that one. And there was another one here. BitDigital, I think, is another one that's wasn't public until sometime after that, I believe. Maybe even before that. But for whatever reason, it's not included here. So we only have the 7 miners here right now. Okay. And here's what we got. So shares outstanding, this was basically at, this is right now what we have for them, the latest reports from them. Stock prices as of today, market cap is as of today here. Then we got shares out on 1/1/23, and that is calculated by, let me see here. Bitfarms for, shares out, so not calculated, sorry. So I'm using the actual numbers here for like Bitfarms here. You can see here, I'm going back to Q1, right? What were their numbers for Q1 basically at that point? Going from there, and then we're also looking at the share difference here from then to now, and market cap, what the market cap was at that point, and that's going back to a site that I found where you can find the market cap history on the miners, or on any stock actually. Okay, so that's kind of where I pulled that information from. And then estimated share price at that point, what that was, around 41 cents, right? So obviously the miners were pretty much bottoming out at that point. And then what is their hash rate at the beginning of the year of 2023? Current hash rate, how much the hash rate increased, share per petahash increase. So if we take the number of shares divided by the increase here, we get the shares per petahash increased, right? We get that number there. Hash rate percentage increase, how much did the percentage actually increase over that time period? Market cap, how much that increased from then to now. Stock price, how much that increased. Average BTC over the last 12 months, basically. I believe we're looking at, let me see here. Yeah, we're looking at the last 12 months on it from January. So it's actually more like 15 months. We're looking at that data on that. What is the average there? latest quarterly revenue numbers, SG&A numbers from them as well that have been reported. Percentage of revenue for the SG&A per petahash. Stock-based compensation, what was that? And we're subtracting that from the SG&A here. And then we're going percentage of revenue based on that here and SG&A per petahash at that as well. Okay. So hopefully that all can make sense for you guys there. And so we'll go just through the couple columns. Well, we have quite a few columns here, but we'll go through them here. So current hash rate, let's see here, increase. So we'll just go at increase hash rate. Obviously, we know that Marathon's the biggest one here with probably 25 plus exahash right now. Riot and then Cleanspark here is number 2. Obviously, Core is a little bit bigger than that, but Core, I don't have the data for them. And then Riot would be number 3 or number 4 here right now on this chart. Okay. So the green designates the number 1 miner for that category, right? The yellow means number 2, and the red means number 3. So I just kind of wanted to see how that kind of played out. And you can see that all along here. So hash rate increase, we got Marathon number 1 spot, followed by Cleanspark, and then we got TeraWolf. Shares per petahash increase, we got obviously again Marathon here number 1 spot, Cypher number 2 spot, and then TeraWolf number 3 spot. Hash rate percentage increase, that would be on TeraWolf 551%. That's number 1 here, and then we got Iris 533%, and then we got Marathon 353%. Market cap increase, CleanSpark's number 1, 2,555% increase in market cap over the last 15 months. You got Iris, then Marathon with 1,208. And then you got Iris at 1,020, or Iron, sorry. Keep saying Iris, I'm just used to saying Iris. And then when we look at the stock to price percentage increase, we have, let's see here, CleanSpark is up 884% from then. Cypher up 790%, Marathon up 755%. Then you got average BTC per exahash efficiency. You got Iris coming in at number 1 with 72.99. CleanSpark number 2 with 71.58. And you got Bitfarms with 70.66. And then latest quarterly revenue, obviously Marathon's going to come in number 1 with 156 million, followed by CleanSpark with 73, Riot at 16 million. And then the SG&A here, as far as we're looking, what is the lowest cost on this one? TeraWolf came in the lowest at 10.4 million, followed by Bitfarms at 13.4. And then you got Iris number 3 spot with 20.45 million. Okay. Now, when percentage of revenue, right? So what is the SG&A percentage of that? The best one here was Marathon with 25%. Then you got Bitfarms with 28.99% of that is of SG&A of revenue. TeraWolf at 29.58, number 3 spot. And then when we take the SG&A and look at the petahash, how much does that actually count for? And you got TeraWolf number 1 spot with 1.3 thousand. Then you got CleanSpark with 1.33, and then Marathon 1.589. And then when we take a look at stock-based compensation here, so lower is better. TeraWolf came in number 1 with only 690,000 in stock-based compensation for the quarter. And then you got Bitfarms with 2.16 million. And then you got Marathon with only 4.19 million on that one. Then going to SG&A minus SBC. So now we're looking at what is the SG&A without stock-based compensation on it. And again, you got TeraWolf at number 1 spot with 9.75, followed by Bitfarms at 11.25, and then CleanSpark at 11.94. And then percentage of revenue of that, now of these numbers here, we got CleanSpark coming in number 1, 16.19%, followed by Riot at 20%. And you got Marathon number 3 spot with 23% on it. And then the SG&A to petahash, CleanSpark comes in number 1 at 727, followed by Riot, and then TeraWolf as well. So kind of interesting to take a look at how that has played out over the last 15 months on things. And you can see, obviously, some of the big miners, top miners are obviously going to be like CleanSpark, Marathon, TeraWolf even has been doing really well as far as costs are concerned, growth, things like that as well. So kind of interesting to take a look at it. Just a couple more metrics to take a look at, obviously over a much longer time frame. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And that is basically it. Not much going on in the mining space right now. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll see if anybody does anything. If anybody purchases any miners, buys any facilities or something like that. If anybody reports on that, that would be fantastic. Obviously, if not, we'll see what happens there. And then we'll see what happens over the weekend. But that is basically it. So again, I do apologize for the mistake. They're going to happen. Like I've said before, I'm only human. But we'll get them corrected and we'll get them out to you guys as soon as I can, right? So that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. Also, the spreadsheets, my only sales pitch to you guys here. Access to my spreadsheets through Patreon. The link is down in the description for that. And that's still only $8 a month right now. If you pay a yearly fee, it's 10% off. And then there's still probably spots open in the $5 range and the $4 range as well, or tiers. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for coming in to watch this video. Greatly appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.